What up, K-Roll fam? Hope everybody's having a blessed day. Today's video, we're going to be talking about what is for you will not have to be forced. And please let me know down below in the comments what videos you guys want to see in the future on the channel. I want to hear all the topics. I want to hear all the ideas because I want to provide you guys with the best content I possibly can. But yeah, so today's video, what's for you will not have to be forced. So this comes from just like a place of both myself, but also just like a perspective on life in general. I don't really open up too much about myself, but myself as a person, I'm a fighter. I can't lie. Like, I fight for people I truly love and I truly value, and I don't let people go easy. Like, I don't just let things be. I don't just let things fall out, especially if you've really had an impact and you've really helped me get to where I am today or become the person who I am today. And so when things get rough, like I truly put up a fight for it, and I'll show I care. Sometimes at times that leads me to over fighting or, over giving myself to people who weren't willing to do the same, or maybe didn't even value the situation as much as I valued it. And so I wanted to make this video because I know a lot of you guys are probably forcing people to be in your life, or you're trying to force them to be in your life, or you're trying to force life to go in a direction that it's simply not meant to. And what I've had to realize, bro, is like, people are temporary. Like, people are so temporary, and you have to realize when it's time to let certain people go. You have to realize when it's time to let certain things in life go, because as we grow, as other people grow, like, we change. Sometimes we become different types of people. Sometimes we develop different values. We develop different morals. We develop different standards. We develop different expectations of the people that are in our life. And so sometimes people begin to not meet those expectations, and it frustrates us. And it's, almost like where we're trying to go, they're completely going in a different direction, and we're having to like drag ourselves or constantly try and drag them into our life, when sometimes it's just simply meant to be let go of. Because when we try and force people into our life, then we get that mental drainage. Then it becomes you become very stressed out. It causes sometimes anxiety. Sometimes it just drains you as a person because it requires so much effort to even maintain that relationship or maintain that thing. And so I've just had to realize, bro, like, people change, but I think in them changing, you have to accept their change, and you have to determine, does this person align with where I'm going? Does this person align with the person that I'm trying to be? Because I believe that we all grow at different thresholds or different paces, basically, to where it's like you might be growing really rapidly in your mindset towards your future, whereas other people are growing in school or something like that. Like, whatever it might be, like, we grow in different areas of our lives, or some people grow at a much slower pace to where you might be up here and they still down here. It's not that they stop growing, they're just going much slower than you. And so it's like sometimes we just don't align anymore, and it's kind of a thing where it's like, you just outgrown me, and it's nothing personal, or sometimes it might be personal, but for the most part, I hope that it's not personal. So sometimes it's just like, it's not personal, but I gotta distance myself from you, and I can't force you into my life because I'm trying to force you to be somebody you're not ready to be. I think a lot of you guys get caught up on trying to force people to be where you're at when they're simply not ready to be that person, or they're not capable of being that person, or they don't understand how to be that person. Because I've learned that, like, a lot of people look up to me, believe it or not, just like in doing what I do, seeing how I inspire people. I get a lot of people messaging me like how I inspire them and how like they look up to me and things like that. And so it's not that some people don't want to be where you're at. It's just like sometimes you just get there at a faster pace. Some people are just in the process of figuring it out. Like, some people have their life figured out at 21 years old, and then some of you guys, you may not have your life figured out till you're 23, 24, 25, and that's okay. I've always said, like, run your own race. Don't try and hop into a race that isn't meant for you to be running it. And so I know a lot of you guys want me to relate this video to like relationships and things like that, but that too, like, I feel like sometimes we try so hard to force people to be somebody that they're not, or we try and fix people, because I think sometimes we can see the potential and the capabilities that some certain people have within them, especially if they're like our partner, or we're in a relationship with them, when we see the areas in which they might be broken, or we see the areas in which they're overthinking, and we're trying to give them this reassurance, and we're kind of trying to get them to change their perspective, we're trying to get them to fight, we're trying to get them to value us how we value them. And it's like all you're doing is like causing this drainage within yourself. All you're doing is stressing yourself out. All you're doing is trying to control the things that are out of your control. And what I've had to realize is that you can't fix people, especially if they don't even realize that they're broken. Some people see no issue in being the person that they are. Some people see no issue in living in their fears because they don't even recognize they're living in their fears. Like, not everybody watches self-improvement videos. Not everybody understands how their mind works and, you know, their limiting beliefs and things like that. What type of control fear is having over their life and stuff like that. Like, not everybody is aware of it. And so sometimes you can't allow yourself to assume and try and fix people who just don't even completely understand, like, that they're broken at all or what's even wrong with them. I feel like you just have to allow people to be who they are and determine if that's somebody who you want to deal with. And as much as it might hurt to let certain people go or just have to come to that acceptance, I promise you, like, that's the only way you're going to find peace. Because when you try again to force people, when you try and turn somebody into somebody who they're not ready to be, you're only damaging yourself. Like, you're the only one feeling that stress. You're the only one feeling that trying to be in control. You're the only one feeling that mental drainage and all that overthinking and all that anxiety and things like that. Because like I said, like, I'm a fighter. And so I've tried to at times force things. I've tried to get people to value certain situations like I value them. I've tried to get people to grow and have the same mindset as me. And I've realized the damage that it caused to myself. You know, it wasn't damaging them. It only damaged me. I tried to get people to fight for things how I was willing to fight for them. I tried to get people to understand where I was coming from. Sometimes we try so hard to get people to understand us. We try so hard to prove ourselves. We try so hard to get people to see the value in us. It's like we're trying to get their aware. It's like we're over here waving. Hey, recognize me. Hey, recognize me. But you know, they just don't care to, or they're incapable of seeing that value because of whatever reason. Because sometimes you just have to understand, like, there's a reason behind why people are the way they are, whether that's because they went through certain traumas, whether that's because they've been through certain experiences and they have certain fears, they have certain limited beliefs, they have some things they need to work through, they have some areas in which they need to grow. Like, I've just realized, like, sometimes you just have to allow people to be who they are and not make it your responsibility to fix people, not make it your responsibility to be responsible for other people's feelings. Because I feel like sometimes we try and hold back, or we try and always cater towards how other people feel, and as a result we end up just making ourselves feel like shit, or we end up making ourselves feel bad about who we are. We end up suppressing how we really feel. And so it's like sometimes you just gotta, again, allow people to be who they are. Stop trying to change them. Stop getting mad at who they are. You know, allow them to be who they are, and, you know, feel no way about it. Understand that, you know, whatever they have going on, whatever areas they need to grow in, then that's on them. And you can't make it your responsibility. And you just have to learn to adapt to it rather than complain about it or get frustrated at it. You just have to learn to accept, like, okay, this is who this person is, and I can't change them, and I can't make it my responsibility to try and change them. Because I feel like even when you are able to force certain people into your life, or force yourself to be at a place in life, it comes with so much maintenance. It's almost like having an expensive car. Like, just picture a BMW. Even when you do finally get that BMW that has 100,000 miles on it, it's so much dang maintenance that it's a headache to even have. Yeah, I got the prize. Yeah, I got what I originally wanted, but now it costs me so much to maintain it. It costs me so much to keep it up to par. And so this might be a relationship. It takes so much reassurance because this person's insecure. It takes so much talking and so many different conversations because this person easily gets upset or easily gets mad. It constantly takes so much explaining because this person, you know, never cares to listen to me, or they never care to see or think from a different perspective. It takes so much energy because this person doesn't care to put in the effort, or they don't care to value me how I value them, or they don't care to work through the hard time. Like, you see how draining it can be to just like maintain the things in which you have to force into your life. And so I think that's when you just have to recognize, like, that's how you recognize when things are no longer for you, when they bring more chaos into your life than they do peace, you know, when they bring more negatives to your life than they do benefits. Because I've just been starting to realize lately, like, what's for you will be easy. Like, it'll easily flow, whether that's a relationship, whether that's a friendship, whether that's a certain goal or a certain dream you have for life. Like, when you have a passion for something, you flow with the learning to figure it out. You flow with waking up and doing it every single day. Like how I'm flowing with this video right now, I'm very passionate about it. I'm not trying to force it. I understand what I'm talking about, and I understand like what the message I'm trying to get across, and so it allows me to flow very easy. Whereas a lot of people, they wake up and they're forcing themselves to do things. They have to have willpower they have to willpower themselves to do every single thing they do every day in life. And so that just goes to show, like, what's for you in life, you'll be excited about and you won't mind doing it. I always say, or I've always learned that, like, happiness is really just finding the problems in life that you enjoy figuring out. Because as we learn new things, we're solving problems, or we're figuring out certain problems to things that we didn't know in the past. As we grow in life, you know, we're putting ourselves in different environments, different comfort zones, to where, you know, we have to adapt and we have to become better at things that we never experienced in the past, or we have to become more familiar with a territory that we've never been in before. And that literally just comes with, again, solving problems essentially, and just figuring life out itself. And so when it comes to relationships and things like that, it shouldn't drain you to have to keep certain people around. It shouldn't drain you to have to fix certain relationships or fix or work out certain relationships and things like that. It shouldn't drain you to, you know, get up every single day and go out and work at something you truly care about, or that you should care about. Like, you'll notice when things are being forced, so you have to force yourself to do something, because you just won't naturally gravitate towards it. And so my main question to you is, what are you forcing in your life? Who are you forcing in your life? What direction are you trying to force yourself to go in because the world told you that's the direction you have to go into? You know, what do you feel called to do, and who do you feel called to? What type of version of yourself do you feel called to be? You know, what parts of your life do you feel like are being forced rather than you just allowing them to flow? And whatever those areas are, I challenge you to let them go. As hard as they may be, as uncomfortable as it may be, understand that they no longer serve a purpose for you in this season of your life. And maybe that person or that dream or that idea or whatever, maybe it'll come back around. Maybe when you step into a couple different seasons of your life and figure some things out and just grow as who you are as a person, and they take the time to grow who they are as a person, you know, maybe you reconnect one day again. But for the time being, in this season of your life, can you afford to keep them around? Because what is it costing you to try and force them to be in your life? But, you know, I appreciate you guys for tuning into the video. I hope you learned a thing or two. Be sure to comment down below some videos you guys want to see in the future. Be sure to go check out willkeepitreal.com and go cop the hoodies, go cop the merch. Use code WKeepItReal at checkout for 20% off. And yeah, like, comment, subscribe, turn on post notices. Catch you guys in the next video. Peace.